What if, right now, in one moment, every bee on the planet disappeared? Not just the honeybees, but every last wild, angry, furry one. What would happen? Spoiler, no one would notice. At first. Well, okay, the honey will go to waste. We'll survive, somehow. Although the morning toast with butter will become much duller. But the farmers with their apiaries, no. They'll start having hysterics by the evening. The first days after the disappearance are quiet. No buzzing, no bites. People are even happy. And then spring begins. And it turns out that in a world where there are no bees, flowers still bloom. But in vain. Bees are not just honey plants. They are hired pollinators. Without them, strawberries, apples, pears, and almonds will simply bloom, look around, and die alone. Like me at a school disco, a strange era is beginning in the shops. There is still bread, potatoes, and pasta. But juice, avocado, almonds, no more. Welcome to the era of dismal nutrition. Now prices are going up, products are disappearing, and suddenly you start to miss the tiny striped insects you used to fear around your lemonade. The irony is that they were the ones who provided us with that lemonade. Animals are also out of luck. Many forages like alfalfa and clover are pollinated by bees. So cows are essentially losing their food. And that's not a metaphor, that's literally a hungry cow looking at an empty field. A year later, the disappearance of bees ceases to be a joke. Harvests fall. Prices soar. People begin to plant only what does not require pollination. Fruit rows turn into potato wastelands. Now imagine that not only fruit disappears, but coffee too. Because coffee is also pollinated by bees. And so, at this point, humanity really starts to panic. At this point, politicians start to get involved. They come up to the microphones and say, "We'll plant artificial flowers," or "We'll have pollinating robots." It's a good idea, if only the robots cost as much as bees, and they cost as much as Teslas. Scientists do everything they can. Hand pollination, ultrasound, Chinese pollen sticks. It all works. A bit like an alarm clock replaced by a person who whispers, "Get up," at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And then it starts to dawn on everyone. Without bees, it's not just agriculture that collapses. We're losing an entire ecosystem that relied on a billion tiny flying agents working for free, without vacations, strikes, or TikTok. But, as always, there are optimists. They say, "So what? There are still flies. Or wasps. They buzz too, so they can pollinate." Spoiler. No. A fly is like laziness. It seems to move, but there is no benefit. People are starting to miss bees. Not because they're cute, but because without them, billions of dollars in agriculture would cease to function. It's like the internet going away, and all that's left is paper mail. Now here's the real irony. All of this could have been prevented. But we were too busy taking selfies, online delivery, and shouting on the internet that bees are actually evil. But there is good news. If the bees did not disappear because of extinction, but simply flew away somewhere temporarily, we have a chance. They can come back. Like Wi-Fi after a router reboot. Slowly, but reliably. And if we manage to prevent this scenario from happening in reality, we will not only save bees, we will save coffee, strawberries, almonds, chocolate, and the chance not to live on pasta alone until the end of time. So here's the moral. Bees aren't just buzzing creatures with stingers. They're the foundation on which our breakfast, lunch, dinner, and something much more important, the stability of the planet, rest. Save the bee, save the food. Or at least give yourself a chance to not live in a world where strawberries are just a memory. This episode was brought to you by 100,000 bees you didn't notice. Support your local pollinators. They're busy saving your smoothie. Some countries are starting to import bees. Smuggled. Yes, we have a black market in bees now. Around the corner, do you have a kilo of pollen? No, just larvae. In some regions, school children are starting to pollinate manually. Yes. Instead of lessons, a brush and off to the garden. Educational reform of level 80. Meanwhile, the real wild bees are dying out. Not from shock, but from the destruction of their habitat. We've built parking lots where there used to be meadows, and we wonder where everyone went. Some people suggest radical measures. Let's just genetically engineer a super bee. Sure, and a dinosaur that sort's trash. In theory, it's possible. In reality, good luck. While everyone is arguing about what to do, the remaining bees are disappearing, and with them, honey, fruit, a normal breakfast. And perhaps civilization as we know it. Scientists are finding surviving hives in remote regions, tiny oases in the dusty silence. Above them, silence. Below them, opportunity. Perhaps the most important of the 21st century. Local communities are starting to plant flowers again, not for decoration, but as a strategic resource. Flower fields are now better protected than banks. Honey is back in stores, in little jars, expensive, but real. People look at the label and smile, because now they know what it's worth. And here's the amazing thing. You can still make it. If you think you can't save the bees, think again, because the bees already saved you once.